Jealousy can be an extremely useful tool or the biggest cause for your own self-destruction. Welcome to McBain Moments. Okay, as always, before I get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Make sure you take a moment and subscribe down below. We're on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time. So make sure you subscribe. Jealousy. Jealousy is one of the most powerful emotions ever. It's probably second to love. And I'm not talking about romantic jealousy, because that's kind of its own ball of wax, and that's far more complex than I want to get into, because I'm desperately not qualified for that. What I'm talking about is jealousy revolving around success. And this is something that I see a lot of, and I've experienced myself, and I think we all experience jealousy revolving around success fairly regularly, because we're surrounded by other people's successes all the time, because everything we have and do is indicative of where they are in life, and then we're inevitably comparing ourselves against them. And so I just wanted to talk for a few minutes about how you can use jealousy to your advantage and how to prevent it from being self-destructive. So let's start with how it can be used as a tool. Jealousy of where a person is. And let's say, as long as it doesn't devolve into envy, right? Because there's a difference. It's like, oh, they were able to buy a house. It would be really cool if I could figure out how to buy a house too. And so you go looking and you're like, okay, these are the things I need to buy that house, or a house. This is the position I need to be in. What do I need to do to get into that position? So using your desires as a springboard can be extremely useful, because it will tell you where you need to get to that next step in your life. And it will show you the steps you need to get there. And as long as you're willing to do the work, then that kind of jealousy is not destructive. It's actually a catalyst for you to take the next step in your life, increase your hustle, and move toward that goal. So where does that start to go wrong? It starts to go wrong when you try to shortcut things. It's like, well, I want to get there, and I'm here, and these are all the steps I need to get there correctly, but if I do this other thing, I can get there in less time, even though I'll technically be putting myself behind. This is when you take on too much debt for something. This is most evident when you get into deep credit card debt, but it's also when you push for, like, if you're looking for like a promotion at work or a cookie in a nonprofit, you push yourself toward the cookie to the detriment of other things, or you try to short circuit the process, and you get there and you realize that you're missing important in a job, important qualifications, knowledge, tools, experience to actually do the job properly. And so you jump into it and you're like, yes, I got the promotion, and you're like, I have no clue what I'm doing. And part of that's going to be having anyway, right? Because you don't exactly know what you need to do in a job until you actually have the job. But at the same time, there are always some sort of a baseline, and interviews don't always bring those things out. You can appear to be a good fit for a job, and then you get there and then your personality just doesn't match. And so what you want to do is you want to take the time, figure out what the next steps are. Make sure you are in a position to do or receive what it is you are looking for without setting yourself behind. So, jealousy used as a catalyst. The trap. How to avoid the trap. Then come the negative aspects of jealousy. The negative aspects of jealousy come when you start saying, they got that, so I must have it. No, my brother just picked up a 75-inch television, I have to have a 75-inch television. My brother just picked up a new car, I have to have a new car. My brother just got my brother just got a significant other, now I need a significant other. This is where things start to become self-destructive, because it snowballs really fast. You might not be in a position to get that 75-inch television or a brand new car. You may not have the cash flow to keep up with the Joneses across the street. And to a certain extent, that's where the dead industry like got created, but realistically, it's what's in our hearts that creates that. If you allow your jealousy to snowball to the point where you need to have everything that your neighbor has or that your sibling has, then all you're going to do is find yourself in a position where you can't keep up, and then the resentment is going to set in. And no matter who you think you're trying to keep up with, if you look around, there's someone trying to keep up with you. So it's all relative. So what you should do is say, okay, my brother just bought a 75-inch television. Do I really need a 75-inch television? No, why do I want a 75-inch television? Is it because I feel unworthy because my brother was able to buy one? Do I feel unworthy because my sister has a new car? Or is it because my car is dying? Right? Difference. The last, and this is the most destructive form of jealousy. The last thing I want to touch on is jealousy where you look at a person and you say, they have the big television. They have the new car. Well, I can't have those things, so they should not be allowed to have them either. Think about that for a second. That's a form of jealousy. If I can't have them, neither should they. And that's the most destructive form of jealousy. And that's where resentment breeds up. Because at that point, you no longer care about making yourself better. You only care about making their lives worse. And that's a dark place to go. And once you start down that path, coming out of it is really, really tough. So if you look at someone, because you don't know all of the other things they're doing. You may not like someone. They might have some critical personality flaw. We all do. But if you look at someone and say they don't deserve that, why don't you think they deserve it? Is it because they're an asshole? Well, they might be an asshole that's working 2 jobs. Or they might be an asshole who figured out who to talk to in order to save more efficiently. Is it because they committed a crime to do it? That's legitimate. But then you need to figure out how to show that they got it illegitimately. And maybe they did get that television or that car legitimately, and you just don't like them. But never allow your jealousy to devolve into the type of envy that says, if I can't have it, neither should they. Because that is a dark road to go down. Check your jealousy. Always look yourself in the mirror and say, why am I feeling this way? If you can resolve that jealousy, if you can figure out how to make it work for you rather than against you, you'll see a lot more success. Sorry for the long vid. This has been a McBain moment.